Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and this video should have been released a couple of weeks ago. However, due to circumstances beyond my control, I think you all noticed that I was away again for a long stretch of time, right when I was getting back to making regular content again. Well, as they say, better late than never, but today we're discussing the scam ARG I'm Looking for 3024 People by Bakudon Games. As a quick refresher, the YouTuber Jauwn released a video outlining the game itself, if you could call it that, and the game's history, particularly how it started out as an ARG that required a $50 NFT purchase if a person wished to take part. The horrendously terrible AI voiceover with broken and barely intelligible English, and stealing municipal camera feeds, hiding the municipality's logo in order to obfuscate their origin, and fundamentally flawed design of the few quote-unquote puzzles that this ARG has. To which Bakudon issued a DMCA takedown of Jawn's video, not out of concern of protecting their copyright, but by their own written admission was an attempt to silence critique. I made my own video discussing this and aided Jauwn in formulating the counter notification to YouTube, and YouTube has since restored that video. And in fact, Jawn's videos covering this scammer have gone on to do exceptionally well, which is gratifying to see, as he's genuinely a good person and he does fantastic work with his videos, and I hope that exceptional success continues. Prior to making my own videos discussing the spurious DMCA, I did attempt to reach out to Bakudon Games via their own Discord, which was met with no response, and due to that lack of response, I had also attempted to DM Bakudon Games directly. However, their account had DMs blocked. So as such, while I did make every attempt to hold a reasoned discourse with this individual, I was met with complete silence. It is also worth noting that Bakudon had proceeded to issue legal threats to Jauwn by someone who is obviously not an attorney. Not a surprise, considering it would appear that Bakudon Games is comprised of a single individual. However, since then, Bakudon have gone on to continue to attempt to gaslight the few people that are interested in this ARG, which, ironically, you don't even need the game for at all, something that anyone who is foolish enough to purchase it on Steam should bear in mind. In addition to that, it would also appear that Bakudon have continued with their mindset of violating the law, this time to commit fraud, at least in the United States and possibly their own home country of Turkey. Now, bear in mind that international law is extremely tricky. However, while in the United States this form of fraud is considered a civil matter, meaning Jauwn, Callum Upton, and me would have to sue Bakudon directly, which would likely require filing a subpoena to Valve in order to obtain contact information, such a lawsuit would be prohibitively expensive. Now, I did perform some cursory searches for Turkish law, however, and it would seem that fraud of this nature may actually be a criminal matter, meaning it is tried by the state and carries with it, Bakudon Games, again if I'm correct in my educated guess that this is in fact simply a single individual, he'd be facing a prison sentence of between 1 and 5 years along with a judicial fine. But before we get into all of that, let's back up for a moment, because I haven't even shown you how he's done this. Well, back in late July, yes, I know it's taken me this long to discuss this topic, back in late July, Jauwn received this email from Bakudon Games. It starts with, "If it is suitable for SidAlpha, Callum Upton, and you, we would like to open a page dedicated to your videos on the website Frank's Computer Online. We can connect the videos you make to the story of the game if you want." Which I personally simply cannot fathom how Bakudon thought that any of us would be accepting with this, let alone being agreeable to it. This is a developer that has weaponized the DMCA in order to silence critique, and if you look back through our respective bodies of work, it should become readily apparent to even the most blind and severely brain-damaged of individuals that honesty, fairness, and standing up for the consumer are all traits and hallmarks that each of our channels share in our own unique ways and methods. To simply turn around and say we would be fine with this would not only invalidate the extremely valid criticisms of both the game and its scammer developer, but such an action would undermine the credibility of essentially every single video any of us have ever created. This is akin to asking the three of us to willfully and knowingly take a Reaper's scythe to our own credibility, integrity, and standards. So in short, none of us were ever going to accept this, not even if the game was on literal fire and our collective urine was used to quell the flames. Now he continues with, "We can present your videos on a page with a title like, 'They're trying to stop our act of exposing the company.' If you want to make some additional videos, we can also put them. All videos are shared with embed code," which again, not on your life. Now, Bakudon does get one thing correct here insofar as that all YouTube videos by default have embedding enabled. This is a feature that any YouTuber can, at will, go in and disable for any video in our libraries. So my thinking was originally that if he decided to just go ahead and do this, I would disable embedding on those specific videos to ensure they weren't continued to be used in this manner against my will, but I didn't just outright do it because there are some sites out there that do embed my videos and I do gain some legitimate views from those, so I tend to ignore them, even though they're using my content as advertisement fodder on their sites. They continued on to state that they would release the DMCA takedown of Jauwn's video, which was spurious to begin with, and finally finished by saying, "I think you can reach it in SidAlpha and Callum Upton. I would be happy if you would forward our request to them as well." Which, first off, I hate to break it to both Bakudon and also all the males out there that have fallen in love with my voice, of which I know there are more than a few, but unfortunately, I just don't swing that way. This slot B does not fit anyone's tab A. It's just not going to happen. As much as I love Jauwn and Callum, I don't love them in that way. It's purely platonic. I'm sorry if that disappoints you guys. Also, I would ask how lazy Bakudon is if he can't be bothered to also email us with this request, but I've seen the so-called game this person has put onto Steam, so I know full well just how lazy this brain-dead individual is. And so, seeing no response from Jauwn regarding any of us, Bakudon simply decided to, well, just go ahead and do it anyways. Because what the hell, he's already broken the law a couple of times, what's a few more? Now, on August 1st, Bakudon posted this message onto his Steam discussions forums. "Do not believe the scam campaign of Greby Interactive Corp. Greby Interactive Corp is doing its best to stop this movement. They are attacking us. They're afraid we'll expose themselves." I don't know what this person's fascination is with exposing and inserting into people, but it's a little disconcerting. I'm sharing the announcement they made from their site below. You can access their site here. The game named I'm Looking for 3024 People, published by Bakudon Games Studios, used our name and logo without permission. We want to inform you that we have no relationship with this company in the game. There is no truth to what is told about us. Greby Interactive has engaged in R&D works on consumer electronics since 1944. Apart from this, we do not have any activities. We will start the necessary legal process for the relevant game company. Don't believe their scam. Go to the game's forum page. I think it's supposed to be forum page, and share everything that happens with everyone. Don't forget to watch all the videos shared by users from here. Warn others by commenting under Bakudon Games Studios videos. And when you go to the website in question, you're greeted with a woman holding a glowing stick, which is actually a piece of stock footage that can be obtained from numerous websites, and this text image, which is a repeat of what was posted on the Steam discussions. Now, Callum Upton has previously reported that Bakudon went out and obtained this GrebyInteractive.com website just for this function. However, I did find this website during my initial inspections of the game, so I can confirm that he already owned this domain name before he decided to utilize our videos for false advertising. And that comes in with the From Here link that is present on both the website and on the Steam forum, which takes a person directly to a YouTube video search where the search query is the name I'm Looking for 3024 People, which of course will point to the top ranked videos on this topic, which consists of Jauwn, Callum Upton, yours truly, and some Let's Player I've never heard of before. So Bakudon decided that being he didn't have our permission to use our videos as a part of his scam, he decided to go ahead and use our videos as a part of his scam via a YouTube search. Likely so he could attempt to claim, well, I didn't directly link to their videos, I simply used a link to a search result. It's not my fault that they were going to turn up as the top-rated results. Hashtag not a scam, hashtag big brain. But unfortunately for Bakudon, this does seem to be against the law. Now, in the United States, it is specifically 15 U.S.C. subsection 1125(1)A, more commonly referred to as the Lanham Act, which covers false designations of origin, false descriptions, and dilution forbidden, where it states, any person who, on or in connection with any goods or services, or any container for goods, uses in commerce any word, term, name, symbol, or device, or any combination thereof, or any false designation of origin, false or misleading description of fact, or false or misleading representation of fact, which is likely to cause confusion or to cause mistake, or to deceive as to the affiliation, connection, or association of such person with another person, or as to the origin, sponsorship, or approval approval of his or her goods, services, or commercial activities by another person shall be liable in a civil action by any person who believes that he or she is likely to be damaged by such act. Which means that if I believe that this could damage my or my channel's reputation by Bakudon claiming that my videos were merely a part of this scam ARG, of which they are not, I have grounds to sue Bakudon Games. And this is also deemed to be illegal in Bakudon's own country under Turkey's Article 157 of the Penal Code, where it states, "Any person who deceives another through fraudulent behavior and secures a gain for himself or others and causes loss to the victim or another person shall be sentenced to penalty of imprisonment for a term of 1 to 5 years and a judicial fine of up to 5,000 days. And I'm pretty sure that last part about the 5,000 days is a mistranslation and is meant to cover the maximum allowed judicial fine. However, the principle between the two remains the same. I, as a YouTuber, would suffer a reputational loss due to this fraudulent endorsement and inclusion, not to mention anyone who's actually stupid enough to believe this and ends up purchasing the game because of that fraudulent endorsement would also have cause to pursue this matter. Of course, as I said, lawsuits are extremely expensive, especially so when dealing with the international aspects. And put simply, the costs of having a lawyer on retainer for the Acerthorn lawsuits are already costing an arm and a leg, so there's no way I have the funds necessary to file a lawsuit myself over this scammer. So all I can do instead is to continue on as I have and ask people to share my content to warn people to stay away from scams such as this one, particularly with a developer who has no problem violating the law whenever and wherever they choose if it serves to help stuff their wallet. And to state it finally and emphatically, Bakudon Games, I am not affiliated with your scam. I have never been affiliated with your scam, nor would I ever wish to be affiliated with your scam. Welcome to being a permanent member of the Dirty Devs, because there's obviously no path to redemption for you. I hope you enjoy your stay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.